Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio Podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
Hi, nice to see you again, GR Dad.
It's nice to be in the same room talking into the same connected microphones.
It has been an extremely long number of days.
It sure has. It sure has.
And it's been a lot of days, but also it's been an extremely long week. It feels like a month.
Yes.
Everything that has transpired.
Seems like a month, let's say, since we last podcasted, and all the updates seem like they should fill a month.
Yeah.
Or longer. I mean,
Yeah. The cocktail of the week this week is the One Night Stand, which I like both for the name and the fact that it's got a fuckload of liquor in it. So the One Night Stand
so does the One Night Stand.
It is a shot each of gin, vodka, tequila, light rum, coconut rum, and peach schnapps.
Oh my God.
You'll die if you drink this whole thing, guys.
Some high school kid discovered this as they were home alone with their parents' liquor cabinet.
And then it's also...
What's creative about this? It's just like pouring everything together in a big giant bucket.
They add in a tablespoon of sour mix, a dash of grenadine, and a shot of orange juice. Why? None of that's going to make a difference. It's just a fuckload of booze.
Which fraternity invented this?
I mean, I don't have any history. No, it's,
Embarrassing.
But I was like, it was served up to me by Pinterest. Like, hey, look at this cocktail, the One Night Stand. I was like, that's a good name. And I was like, oh, hilarious. There's so much liquor in this. So,
wow.
I don't recommend making this. I don't think it's going to taste good, but it definitely will get you drunk.
It has a great name.
Ingo and I went out to dinner tonight because we haven't seen each other for a week. And then afterwards, I was like, how about we go get some frozen Irish coffees at Mary Ellen's Bar in Key West? And Ingo's like, great.
The story's an emotional roller coaster.
So we walk from dinner to Mary Ellen's, and we start going in, and there's a older lady sitting outside.
Could have been the owner, could have been a bouncer, could have been a server. We don't know. It's Key West.
So just sitting out there. So we walk past her, and she's like, hang on. And I was like, oh, you need to check my ID, because they were checking IDs a lot during Fantasy Fest. So I hand her my ID, and she's like, no, I've got vibrator races going on in the inside, and so we've just got to keep people out until it settles down a little bit in there.
We're full.
For the vibrator races.
It's so funny.
And a part of me was like, I was going to be like, could we just go in and get some Irish coffees and bring them back out? We're not going to take up space. But she was so bitchy about it.
She was.
Really put her out by trying to patronize this establishment.
Enter her bar.
So we just left. And then I tried to make some frozen Irish coffees, and they're fine. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not good.
I think they're good. They're just not the best.
It's not like what you'd get from a bar. I need a frozen Irish coffee machine.
What you need is to live in Dallas at the Capital X Lounge at the airport.
Or New Orleans and go to...
Yes.
Aaron Rose.
Oh, those are the original.
From the French Quarter is the original.
Those are so
frozen
good.
Irish coffee. They're so good.
Those are dangerously good.
We have invited GR Dog Sitter. We're like, listen, GR Dog Sitter, who lives in Maryland, if you ever want a week in the Keys, just let us know. We will fly you down. You can stay at the house. You babysit the dogs and we'll pay you. And Ingo and I will finally go on vacation somewhere.
We have a list of things we need to do while the dogs are being taken care of.
And I finally planned for us a little 1 day away, in December. But it would be great to take a 5-day vacation. And we need somebody who's going to be able to be here full time with the dogs. Not that, if she or anybody else were they don't have to stay in the house for 5 days, right? You can go, bring a friend, come stay at the house, go out at night and just don't leave the dogs for more than 5 hours. Fucking great. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And we could go to New Orleans and finally, our last vacation that we had planned pre-pandemic was to New Orleans. We had it booked, I think, end of March, beginning of April, 2020.
Yep.
And of course it got canceled. But we used to go to New Orleans once or twice a year.
It's such a great place to visit.
And Aaron Rose in the French Quarter has really great frozen Irish coffee.
Oof. And po' boys in the back.
and Killer Po' Boys in the
I
back.
think that's a different place, but it's connected geographically.
Yeah,
They're
you go
the
into
same
the
door.
Aaron Rose bar, go to the back, through a little curtain. There's an establishment called Killer Po' Boys, and they
Yes.
make very good po'
Oh,
boys.
they're so good.
They are killer indeed. And so then you get your frozen Irish coffee. They make you your po' boy.
And then you get your, or you do it the other way and get your po' boy and then go get your drink.
Yeah,
It's such a, I miss that place.
I know. Anyway, all right. Enough being sad. I mean, I've okay. I do have a note here from Jared Dad to warn everybody that this is potentially going to be a long podcast because there's
'Cause
so
of this,
much to talk
It's
about.
been a month since last week.
Oh my God. All right. You ready for administrative corner?
I love administrative corner. I've been waiting for administrative corner in what seems like a month.
So we have 2 items for administrative corner.
That's what you think.
I have 2 items. You may add as much as you like.
Yes, I have some business,
Oh, good.
administrative business.
I guess 3 items. So a few people who didn't let me know the first time around let me know that they did not receive their Voodoo Challenge medals. So if you also have not received your Voodoo Challenge medal, let me know, and I will ship you out another one. Just
but
like
in the immortal words of voodoo, no.
except yes, I will totally send you one.
But it's funny that it's.
But it'd be funny to be like, Jen, I didn't get my medal, and I'd be like, no, too bad.
I ate it. Ha!
So somebody anonymously sent us a can of Blaster penetrant and lubricant.
But last.
No, you don't pronounce the apostrophe, which is also a typographical error. We went to the P.O. box. Giordad went to the P.O. box, and there was a can of Blaster lubricant and penetrant, as discussed in the previous few episodes of the podcast.
So epic, and I just got through doing something that I should have used it for, to like loosen the hasp on a lock, and I used like 3-in-1 oil and lots of it, but I could have used the Blaster and it would have been penetrating and lubricating.
So we don't know who sent it. It didn't say, but thank you if that was you. We appreciate it, and we're looking for opportunities to use it.
I may be spraying it on my knees. Don't tell anyone.
I mean, it penetrates in addition to lubricates.
Well, I'm not sticking it into my skin, so it has to penetrate through my skin.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, it's genius. It's genius.
The other item on my administrative corner list in the category of things 5,000 people have sent to Jen this
that make
week.
you go,
This week, a bunch of people sent me this social media post about this lady who came into the United States with a gun in her checked luggage hidden inside a raw chicken.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And there's a great picture of like a chicken, and they've clearly reached into the corpse of the chicken. I mean, it's like a grocery store chicken. It's not, it's plucked and everything like you'd buy at the store, but a whole chicken. And then inside there's like a plastic bag with a like a handgun in it.
What's up with that?
I don't know, because the post from the TSA was just like riddled with chicken puns. It did not provide a lot of information, but it did provide a fuckload of chicken puns, which like, I mean, okay, you guys, but like, I don't actually know. I mean, except you're not allowed to do that.
If you're trying to avoid suspicion anywhere, don't use raw chicken. I mean, that's gonna.
Who brings a raw chicken? Can you imagine what TSA must see?
It's only a raw chicken. Don't worry.
They're like, well, this lady's got a raw chicken. It was in like one of those little foil like lunch bag kind of things.
But it's raw. It wasn't even like a broiled chicken.
No, it was an uncooked chicken with a gun in the inside. So thank you to everybody who sent that. It brought me much amusement, both the first time and then every other time I saw it, because eventually it becomes amusing that everybody thinks of me when they see the gun inside the chicken. I believe she came in through Miami, so it was a Florida story as well.
Yes. Weird, though. Okay.
Do you have any items for Administrative Corner?
Yes.
Woo!
I keep saying.
Woo!
What do you think? I'm whistling Dixie over here? For those who are expecting plushies, the initial ship date of October 22nd turns out to have been way optimistic.
Lies.
Well, maybe lies. And I think they've said December 11th they're going to ship them.
I think
So-
the October thing was just a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, it was always supposed to be December.
It seemed wildly early. Yeah.
Yeah.
December 11th is supposedly the date, which in October seemed far away. Now seems not that far away.
No, it happened already.
December 11th?
October.
Yes.
October's done.
When I was in October,
Mm-hmm.
December 11th seemed very far away.
It's like a month away.
Now,
Yeah.
December 11th does not seem very far away.
No,
That was my point.
I'm with you.
Not that October is already past, Captain Obvious.
That was my point. October. is
Professor
done.
Dr. Obvious.
Anything else for administrative corner?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be accused of using rambling time for administrative corner and misclassifying things. I'm saving my administrative, perhaps, item for ramblings.
You got to save it for Ingo Corner.
Oh, my God. I can't save it that long. I'll forget.
All right. Well, we'll see. Dog updates. Are there any dogs we don't have updates for? Chief Brody is just an angel, and
Yes,
we
you want
love
me
him.
to contribute an item for him?
Yeah.
You know how he woofs at night sometimes?
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Yep.
Voicelessly.
Oh.
Hauntedly.
Yeah.
When he does that now, I put the bowl of water in front of him. Because my theory is like, isn't that the advice you give everyone who's stressed and anxious? You're like, maybe you should just hydrate more.
Yeah. Drink a bunch of
Just
water.
drink a bunch of water. And then he drinks some water, and then he's quiet, at least while he's drinking the water. So it's somewhat of a win. It has worked before, and it has failed before. I can't say I've completely fixed it, but I like giving him water.
It doesn't hurt.
Nope.
So good job.
Hydration is important for all of us.
Yep. All right. So it really seems like a long time, but since we talked last, Nacho has moved into his new house. I cannot believe it has only been a week
I can't believe how jealous I am of him.
of moving away from all of this chaos.
No, just to his new situation is freaking awesome.
So Nacho, we put him up for adoption through Great. A bunch of people were interested in him, and there was one family that looked like a great fit, except that they had a dog. So they live on this big property about an hour outside of DC. They have a pool at their house there. They also have a beach house in the Outer Banks that's right on the ocean. And I was like, this is perfect for Nacho C. Fry. He deserves these great things in life. They're freshly retired. So, they're relatively young, just around 60, still active, doing all sorts of stuff. But they're home all the time. And I was like, this sounds great, except they have a 9-year-old golden. And so they were very excited. And as soon as he went up, I got an email. And when I eventually brought him over to visit, she's like, I would check the website 8 times a day. And I was like, I feel that deeply. I'm that person
You do that too.
who's if I'm oh, I'm gonna get a dog, check the website. So she was checking it. She emailed, and I talked to them on the phone, and I was like, listen, you guys sound great. They've had a bunch of dogs before. None of this is about you. It's about if he gets along with your dog. And I was really stressed about whether he'd get along with their dog. And I'm like, so I'm going to bring him to visit, but all I'm going to be looking for is how he gets along with your dog, because I don't want to put him in a situation where he's stressed out by the other dog. And it's not about you. We just got to see how that goes. And, they're so excited for him to come. So we show up, and I was like, let's start outside, because it's always better when you're not in a constrained space. So whenever we get a new dog coming in or whatever, it's better to be outside. So if someone's feeling stressed out, they've got a lot of room that they can kind of go away and get their space. So we show up. Stella is the dog that they have, who's 9 years old, but she's very spry and active. And we're out there. She's coming up and giving me hugs. He's going up and giving hugs, and everything seems good outside. So we go in. This is not a deciding factor, but their kitchen is about the same size as our house here in Florida.
Doesn't hurt.
Their house is giant, which you can do if you live an hour outside of DC, right? You're way out there.
It's closer to West Virginia than DC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely closer to West Virginia.
Yeah.
just this beautiful house. At some point, like, she was kind of giving me a partial tour, and she's like, so this is our bedroom. And I thought it was a guest room because there's like 5 layers of pillows like perfectly stacked on the bed. Like, there's nothing out of place. And I was like, I think we do a really good job with our bedroom, and it never looks like
we
this.
don't have throw pillows.
No.
Dogs would eat them.
Oh my God, they sure would. So he's getting the tour. He, with a lot of people, he's really hesitant at first. He wasn't like that with them. Like, we went down to their basement, which is all finished and they use for kind of entertaining. And he's like just sitting on the lap of the lady, like, draped across the guy.
Nick likes her more than he likes me.
He didn't come up to me at all the whole time. He's like, these people are nice.
I'm done with you all.
Pulling toys out of the toy box. And he got this like rawhide ring, and Stella is like, what are you doing with that rawhide ring? And he's like, I'm chomping on it. And she's like, okay. Like, was totally fine with it.
Yeah.
And then we took him outside at some point and, just throwing tennis balls for them. And Nacho, of course, gets a tennis ball and is like chomping on the tennis ball, like trying to destroy the tennis ball.
Trying to destroy it.
And Stella's like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, like standing over him, give it to me, give it to me. And he's like, chomp, chomp, chomp on the tennis ball. And she's like, I'm taking it. And she literally, like, as he's chomping the tennis ball, like stuck her mouth on the tennis ball and took it out of his mouth. And he didn't care.
That relies on a lot of cooperation by Nacho, yeah.
So 100% passed the test of getting along well with their dog.
Totally. Both ways, yeah.
Yep. So that was great. And that was sort of all I needed. But I will say the couple that adopted him, I think they have 2 or 3 adult kids kind of in their 20s and 30s. And they have a son who also has a dog. And they were like, oh, this dog's named Nacho. Like, that's cute. It's like a cheese name. And I was like, yeah, we've had a whole bunch of cheese dogs. Like, we've had a queso and a manchego and a parmesan. We got a cheddar. And I'm like, this is Nacho. And they're like, well, that's funny because, like, our son has a dog and his dog's name is Gouda.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the cheese. And I was like, this is like some kind of cosmic sign for me that Nacho is going into the right place. He's going into a family with another dog named after a cheese.
With a Gouda dog.
I'm like, Gouda is on our list of potential dog names. And she's like, yeah, they make all sorts of puns like, oh, he's such a Gouda boy. And I was like, yep, that would happen in our house.
That's why we haven't actually followed through on it. That's been an impediment.
So he visited them last Thursday. And I was like, this is great. He gets along with your dog. If you guys want him, he is yours. I think he'll be really happy here. Like I said, they've got this giant pool. Like, I'm so used to the pools in the Keys, which are like relatively small because like the property's small, but they have 4 acres. They have this like massive pool.
Olympic.
Yeah, it's covered for the winter. But they have a house in the Outer Banks, and they're like, oh yeah, that pool's open like year round, and they're also like just right on the ocean, and the dog just run into the ocean. I was like, this is great. Like, this is what he deserves.
It's like everything he has, but better.
Yeah. Yeah, this place was immaculate. So the picture that I posted of him, if you have been following, with like the steps with all the pumpkins, like that's just their front step. And I was like, this is like a professional decorator came in here and like fallified, autumnified this house.
Excuse
My goodness,
you,
Brody. So I was like, if you guys want him, I think this is going to be great. And they were like crying. And so it was great. So I'm like, okay, like I'll bring him back tomorrow morning. Like I'll bring food. I'll bring all of his stuff. I brought his suitcase that like Teen had got him for Operation Nacho Run.
Kit. Yeah.
All the stuff in there. I'm like, bring his medicine, all of his records and stuff. So I was there on Thursday and I was like, I'll come, once the traffic is done tomorrow morning, I'll bring him out. So I go home. I get home probably like 2 p.m. I order myself some dinner. I eat dinner. And at like 9, I'm like, man, I don't like feel that great. But I had a glass of wine and I was like, yeah, maybe it's just not sitting right with me. And at 10, I was like, man, like I feel like crap. Like, I'm going to just go to bed.
Bad.
Yeah, usually I do not
Foreboding.
And I go to bed and I'm like, God, my stomach is really sore. Like, this is not a normal problem that I have. And by 10:30 it was very clear that I had food poisoning. I will not share the details of my night, except that I did not sleep. Nacho was very concerned for me.
Yes, it's as bad as you remember. You can imagine and you assume. Yes, bad. It's bad.
I spent a lot of the night kneeling on the floor in the bathroom, like waiting to purge the things that were like making my body feel bad. Nacho like was going into the laundry basket and bringing me socks.
Oh,
So I'm like, I know I'm gonna puke again, and he's like, "Here, would you like this sock?" And I'm like, "Thank you very much, Nacho. That's very nice."
he's like, I'm trying to help however
Not
I can.
helpful. He was really good though. Like most of the time, he just kind of stayed out of the way, and then he'd kind of check on me, and I'm like, "I'm
Aw.
okay." Bleh. And so I was up all night, like throwing up, and so I texted in the morning, and I was like, "Listen, you guys, I got food poisoning last night. I had a fever. It was just terrible. I'm like, I'm gonna bring him, but I'm not gonna be like my normal perky self. Like, don't take it personally. I just feel so bad." And they were like, very nice. I almost asked them, "Do you think you could drive out to Silver Spring and come pick him up?"
Oh yeah,
Instead
they have
of-
time. They're retired.
Yeah. And I was like, I think I can make it, right? Like, I think it'll be okay. So I'm driving out to where they are, which is like an hour in Virginia, like an hour outside of DC. And I'm I'm on the Dulles Toll Road, which is like a big highway, right? Like it's an interstate kind of highway.
Yeah.
And I'm about halfway there, and I start like kind of sweating, and I start feeling weird. And I
Oh,
literally
no.
had to pull onto the shoulder of the Dulles Toll Road. It's like an 8-lane road, because I almost passed out in my car. Like I pulled onto the shoulder, put on my flashers, and then just sort of like bent my head over onto the passenger seat to like wait
Oh boy.
for the wave to pass. So I managed to get out there to their house, but it was like not good. But like, what am I going to do at that point, right? Like I'm 45 minutes away from home. Yeah, like had to stop on the way out there because I was sick. So finally, like get out there, and I was like, okay, you guys, like let's just sign this paperwork.
Oh, here's a nacho.
I had a fever, right?
Ugh.
I'm sitting on their couch, like, all right, we're doing the paperwork, and then I'm like getting up ready to go, and we're like standing in the kitchen, and I'm standing there. I'm like, I've got like 45 more seconds of standing in my abilities, and then something bad's gonna happen. Like for 2 minutes, I couldn't even stand up. So I delivered him. Wow.
Do you want
Brody.
some water? Hang on.
So I delivered him. I managed to get myself home like relatively safely. I went upstairs to the bedroom, grabbed my pillows and comforter, and brought them down to the couch because I thought maybe I'd watch some TV. And then I slept for 20 hours straight. I had a fever of like 101.5.
Admirable.
I know. Anyway, I'm mostly better now.
That should fix a lot of things that ailed you.
Yeah. So that was like my whole Friday was like sleeping. I slept straight through until Saturday, and then my fever broke by like midday Saturday, but I still like was exhausted. I'm still kind of tired and like don't have my normal appetite quite. But I spent the whole weekend on the couch. It like interrupted my processing of like being super sad about Nacho moving on, even though he's in like an awesome place and not competing for
He's a
attention.
sweet boy. No, it's tough. He deserves exactly what he's got, which is an ideal situation for him.
They love him so much.
Yeah.
They've sent us pictures, and he's doing so great. He slept in their bed the first night, like curled up with them.
Oh, he's a great bed sleeper.
Yeah. So
So no, it sucks that we don't have him anymore. But for him, this is so much better.
he's not sad. He's not confused.
No,
He's very
he's
happy.
not anxious. No, he's fine.
He's doing great. I also have a standing invitation to go visit, so I'm going to give it some time because I don't want him. It would be so sad for him to think like, oh, Jen's here to pick me up and bring me home.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that.
No. So I'm going to give him some time, but I definitely will go visit, and they're sending good pictures. So Nacho Seafry is doing fine. I am obviously sad to like not have his joyful spirit around anymore, but also like it's so good for him. The household is also much calmer, and he's getting what he needs, right, which we weren't giving him.
Yeah, no, neither doesn't have to be in a crate half the time.
Yes, they set up the crate for him, and I was like, just have it, because like if he's really like wound up, it's good for helping him measure his emotions. And they're like, oh yeah, we have a crate, we'll set it up. And they had, when I brought him on Friday, they had it all set up in the living room. But I think they're using it kind of the same way that we did, which is like when he's, I don't know that they've had him in there at all, but I told him like if he's like super crazy, like it helps him just kind of settle down. And I think that was their plan.
Yeah, he won't need it if he's got something that much space. He can like run around in one of their many rooms.
Up the stairs, down the stairs.
in the West Wing.
I didn't even see the whole house. That it was that big. Oh my god. It's great. I'm so happy. So
yeah, no, it's a mixed feeling thing, but it's the best for him.
Yep. So that's the Nacho Sea Fry update. Yeah, it's good but sad, but good.
Yeah.
Should we do Remy next?
Sure.
So let's see. On medical news, Remy does not have Addison's disease. He did do his test for it, where they took his blood and then injected him and then took his blood again, and he doesn't have Addison's. So he's just crazy.
Just has low cortisone levels for some reason.
Cortisol levels for some reason.
Cortisone, whatever. He's weightlifting. What's going on?
So we're going to start him on Prozac, which Brody is also on, and see if that helps with his anxiety a bit. But that's his medical stuff. Do you want to tell about his big adventure to the neighbor's pool?
Sure. Yeah. He's swimming with the other two now, with Hops and Guac.
What do you mean?
And, he interacts. He gets the ball. He takes it out of the water. He drops it. He goes in, gets another ball, takes it out of the water, drops it. And, I got a little too comfortable with all that and just like went and picked up some, yard waste. And I turn around and he's not there anymore.
This is a thing that happens a lot to both of us.
Yeah, and because sometimes he's like in the bushes. He's behind the RV. He's like, goofing around.
He does like to hide.
He went to the front gate because someone walked by, and he's checking that out. So he kind of, but he's very stealthy about it. He just silently pads away.
Yeah,
and he's hard to see. I don't know why. He's just hard to see. So I didn't think much of it, and then I heard a splash next door, and I was like, oh no.
And this is not on the side with the pool that we go to sometimes. This is the other side.
This is the place where Nacho used to go chasing lizards.
Yeah,
you can go around the water side, or you can sort of hug the fence. And so I'm like, well, he's not in the ocean, so I don't need to get the kayak or wade out there. So I kind of start, inching around the fence, going on the land route, and our neighbor's there, and she goes, oh, he fell into the pool. And I was like, oh, so embarrassing. Come on, Remy. And he's like trotting over. He's doing his little prancy dance.
Yeah, he does that.
He's like, Prince, I had a great adventure. I'm like, why are we having this interaction with the neighbors right now? And so, yeah, he apparently had gone over and fallen into their pool. And then she goes, well, he's done that before. I was like, oh, that's good to know. Although she's probably thinking about Nacho.
Oh, my God.
She can't tell the dogs apart.
I mean, they do look pretty the same unless you know them.
Yeah. Except Nacho would come up from the water side. Remy this time came around the land side. So I did get him back. And then he was swimming and swam over to the other neighbor's side and was almost lost that way because he goes under their dock and can't get out of the water that way. But I was able to head him off by jumping in.
So I was not here for this, but this is definitely a thing that Remy does. He really likes to go around the fence, and we spend a lot of time trying to find Remy. And so I was in Maryland, and I was like, there's a technological solution to this problem. So I bought like 8 Apple AirTags and waterproof collar attachments to hold the AirTags. And so while our dogs normally go naked, Remy is now wearing a collar, and it has 2 AirTags attached to it, one attached to each of our phones. So if he goes and disappears, we can track his GPS location on our phones and find him instead of being like, well, do you think he's in the water? I don't know. Do you think he swam down there? We can just like pull him up on the app. He's got the one AirTag that each of us can have on our phone, and we can find him.
Make it a lot harder for him to get all the way to Cuba. I
Yep.
think we can intercept him beforehand. We can call the Coast Guard.
That's right. So he is now doubly GPS tracked, and I have many more AirTags and holders available for if other dogs need this. Which, speaking of, let's talk about Guagomane.
Guago Man is the reliable rock. He's been
Until
outside.
today.
I know.
Until today.
This is the arc. He's been so reliable. We didn't have to worry about him. We had him at a point where he would stay put.
So good. And today, so I got home at like 2 in the morning. I mean, Ingo and I got home at 2 in the morning. I was up in Maryland for a week, and then yesterday, Wednesday, I was up in New York for a speaking event, and tried to come home. We did eventually make it, but I flew from LaGuardia, and the key is to never connect through anywhere except Miami, but there were no connections from Miami to Key West.
Especially Charlotte. I think Charlotte is the place where flights die.
So I flew LaGuardia to Charlotte, and then I was supposed to fly Charlotte to Key West. And I'm on the plane in New York preparing to take off, and Ingo texts, and he's like, your Charlotte to Key West leg has been canceled. And I've had this shit happen before. So I immediately, like, before we took off, booked myself onto a Charlotte to Miami flight for that night, because the options that they provided me, they're like, well, your Charlotte to Key West leg on Wednesday has been canceled.
You can rebook with no charge.
And I was like, great, what are my options? And they're like, you can go Thursday. And I'm like, all right, I don't like this, but okay. And the Thursday option was to fly Charlotte back to LaGuardia, LaGuardia to Key West. And I was like, my entire day, I'm going to fly 2 hours north and then take the 3-hour flight south.
I mean, just that is like geographically ridiculous.
So that was my one option for Thursday, or I could fly on Friday. And I was like, fuck this. Get me to Miami or Fort Lauderdale or anywhere, right? And then I will drive down to Key West.
On Wednesday, they were saying, oh, you can go on Friday?
On Friday was basically
my
my
only option.
What are you going to do
in Charlotte for 2 days? Sleep in the airport?
Yeah, I guess I get like a room at the Hilton at the airport or something.
But I don't think they're paying for that.
No. So I was like, fuck this now. And there have been other times where I've had like this deep regret where it's like I see a flight is canceled and then I see like a semi-reasonable option. I was like, well, I'll wait till I land to book it. And then of course it's gone. So I like put myself right on that flight to Miami. And because the Hurricane Nicole is coming through, that's why everything was fucked up.
Although they didn't say that for the Key West flight because the Key West airport's open.
Yep. They're just like, meh, canceled. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, hopefully I can get into Miami tonight. But like, there's a big question mark because the hurricane is making landfall, and it's not making landfall in Miami, but like not that far north of Miami. So I get myself on the Miami flight, and I was like, and he goes like, I will come pick you up, which is super nice because it's like a 3-hour drive. And I was like, don't leave until I have taken off from Charlotte. It's okay if I have to wait for you at Miami, but I don't want you to have to like hang around if this flight gets canceled, which it totally could.
Yeah, the flight length is about the same time as the drive. So it made sense to kind of race.
So we push back. The flight's supposed to leave at like 6:30. We push back from the gate at like 6:18. And I was like, great. And then we kind of taxi out and then the engines turn off. And
but I'm like, okay, I'm leaving now. And, you know, I'll see you in Miami.
And I'm like, man, they just turned the engines off, Ingo. And they're like, well, you know, there's a ground stop in Miami. And I have like the FAA like ground stop tracking website. So it tells you all this stuff. And they're like, ground stop for tornado or hurricane. And I was like, those are two very different things, but okay. And they're like, they'll let us know in 20 minutes, like what's next. And I'm like, And, you know, then it's extended. So we just sit on the tarmac for 2 hours. And then it's like, we're waiting for this outer band of the hurricane to pass Miami airport. And so finally they're like, okay, we're going. And I was like, yes, like, let's go. So 2 hours late, we finally take off. And the hurricane has progressed quite a bit in these 2 hours. So we did make it to Miami. And on approach, I pull up the flight aware, like radar track of the flight. So the flight takes off from Charlotte. It's heading south. And then you can see the radar outline of the hurricane on the map, like perfect. There's an eye. There's like this perfect swirling mass of hurricane that's like the size of the entire state of Florida. And the flight comes down from the Carolinas and then makes this round arc around the outside edge of the hurricane and then right at the bottom is Miami Airport. So it's like down and then this like zoop circle around the edge of it, like pops into Miami. Little bit bumpy on the way in, but we had a pilot. She was awesome. Did a great job, put us down. And so we land in Miami at like 10:20. Was it 10:20?
From 8:20 to 10:20.
10:20. So Ingo bought guacaman and remoulade and had nacho fries waiting for me.
Yes, actual nacho fries from Taco Bell.
And so we ended up getting home a little bit before 2 a.m.
But you did all that driving. That was the hard driving. I drove all the way out when it was fine.
Yeah, I got to drive back to the Keys. So why did we put that in there? I don't know. So we're home today, and we take Guacaman outside, and Guac is playing fetch with the other dogs, and it's very choppy because even though the hurricane wasn't all that close to here, like we had water on the beach last night.
We did drive in, and
the beach had water.
Yard was half flooded.
Yeah. And it's windy, not like hurricane windy, but like for a regular day, you'd be like, oh, it's kind of a windy day today. Yeah. So he swallowed a lot of seawater while he was playing fetch with the other dogs.
Not obviously, but in hindsight, noticeably.
So the thing that happens when you're a dog and you swallow a lot of seawater is that you puke it back out within about 10 or 15 minutes. So Guac comes inside and pukes out. You said about 5 gallons.
I was loading the dryer in the next room, and it sounded like someone had taken a 5-gallon bucket, tipped it, and splashed half of it on the carpet. Then there was a pause, and then the rest of the 5-gallon bucket was splashed onto the carpet. It just sounded that splashy.
So we did a lot of cleanup, like Ingo's with towels, and I got the little scrub brush outs for cleaning up.
Poor Guac felt terrible. I mean, it's not his fault that he was full of water.
I felt so bad because he was like looking at me like I need to go outside, and I was like, you don't need to go outside. You were just out there. And then he's like, okay, like he really wanted to go out and do it. Yeah. So once we got like the initial cleanup done, I was like, he's drinking a ton of like fresh water, and I was like, I'm gonna take him out just in case he pukes again. So I open the door, I let him out. I go down the stairs. I cannot see Guac. And I'm like,
check the water.
Where's Guac? So I go to the water. He's not there. And I'm like, has he gone over to the neighbor's house? And I walk up to the fence and I peer around. These are to the neighbors who let us use their pool. And there's Guac standing on the dock. So the neighbors are there. There's a couple that owns the house. And then there's another couple that's visiting them for the week. And so the 2 guys are out on the dock fishing. And the 2 women are like sitting on like chairs in the pool, like with their, they're dressed, but like their feet in the pool, just hanging out. And I come around the fence.
Guac who's like, I am now your friend.
Guac is standing on the dock. And I'm like, hey, everybody. And they're like, come on in, like sit down. And it's lovely. Like we had, I was there for like half an hour and we had some great talks. But Guac is hanging out on the dock with the guys. And
because there's bait, I think probably it smells good and he likes that.
So the woman who's visiting is she has a show on Sirius XM, and so we're like talking about media stuff and social media, and she's a real trailbreaker of a woman. So we're having a great conversation, and I'm trusting that and the guys absolutely were watching Guac, right? He's hanging out with them, and at some point I hear this sploosh. And I see Guac is in the water, but then there's very serious sounds coming over from the dock. The husband from the couple that's visiting is a big guy. I mean, I'd say he's like 6'4", like a big dude. And you see him just lift Guac out of the water.
Which is amazing.
Grabs him around the neck.
A wet, soaking dog just deadlift him out of the water.
Lifts him out of the water.
Amazing.
And is holding him in place. And Wayne, the guy who owns the house next door, is like doing stuff to Guac. So I go over there, and what happened is the guy who's visiting cast his fishing line, and the whole line has like lures, and each lure has like 3 hooks on it, compound hooks. And he had cast that out, and Guac's like, ooh, ball, and like jumps off the dock directly onto the fishing line.
Yeah.
on the line. So he lands on top of the line. So the guy is like, oh my God, like he just landed on all these hooks. I've got to get him out and not have him move so none of these hooks set in Guac. And Wayne, our neighbor, is trying to unwind Guac because he's all twisted up in the fishing line. Like one of the lures has hooked onto the bottom of the deck, so it's pulling the whole apparatus like tight on Guac. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to hold his head. But he clearly has a lure, has a hook from one of the lures in his butt. Like the back of his leg. The barbs didn't push all the way through, which is good because if those go in, you can't pull that out. You got to push it around and through and then cut the end off. We had to do that with one of our dogs growing up. He got it stuck in his lip and you had to push it through the rest of the way to his lip and then cut it off.
Ouch.
He was not happy about it. It was very traumatic for everybody involved. So it wasn't that bad for Guac, but he had it in there. And so Wayne is like trying to pull it out. And Guac, you can see him like being like, ouch, ouch, ouch.
That's my
like,
butt.
yeah.
That's my butt.
So Guac, you know, I remember back to like a year or so ago where Guac got caught in the people's crab trap 2 houses down that he swam over to.
He learns nothing.
Here, Guac got caught up as a fish. On the fishing line and had to get the hook pulled out of his
we're
butt.
just lucky we don't live in like, you know, wolf trap country or
God.
bear bait country where he would wander into every trap and get caught in every net and every sling. He'd be like,
hanging up from a tree.
How did I get up here? Yeah.
So it was quite a time. So we got him unhooked, and then everybody's like, wow, that guy's crazy. And he's like drinking their pool. He's like, oh my God, you guys, I drank so much salt water. I'm going to drink your pool. Just like walks into the pool, stands there shoulder deep, and is just like drinking the pool.
Well, he's lost his status as the reliable rock. Now you're on probation a little bit too. We got to watch you now.
Wacko man. Guac is also fat. He has suddenly become fat.
Unfortunately. Yeah, sorry, Guac.
He's gone from dad bod to chub.
Too many tacos, you know. Nacho fries are back.
The thing is, like, Guac is the reliable car dog. So whenever we go somewhere, he comes. He loves it. But it's like, so if we go to Taco Bell or if we get takeout for lunch, like Guac gets a whole bunch of French fries or a taco, and those snacks are big and have added up. So
he loves them though, but you know, you're going to be missing them a bit now.
He's on a diet now.
Yep.
We don't need him to be skinny, but like it's really obvious how much he has chopped up.
What did you say? You watched the video of me walking him, and you can just tell from behind.
It's like, oh geez,
thicker.
That is a big.
He's thick.
Yeah, he is. So that's the Guaco man. Let's see. Vink has a skin infection. She's in the cone because she has a hot spot on her cheek that she keeps scratching at.
And I've tried taking it off her, and I turn around and she's scratching it.
I mean, it must be so itchy.
She's just unable, and she can do everything in the cone, right? She's able to drink, eat, walk down the stairs, do everything. She acts like she's debilitated, but she actually can do everything fine.
But she did kind of end up developing more of a whole body skin infection that she went to the vet for, and she's got some antibiotics for. And often when she gets these hot spots like on her face, that's because like she's having this kind of allergy freak out.
Yeah, it's like a system overload, and she gets these hot spots everywhere all of a sudden.
Yep. Yeah, her whole skin kind of turns pink and sore. So she'll be fine. As soon as she stops scratching at that thing.
She's better, but she's super weird and anxious these days. Like this was just before you got back, I think. I went, you know, it's like the kitchen table, slipped on my slip-on shoes, and Vink perked up and started prancing around like it was dinner time. I was like, what do you want? She goes, out. So we go out, and she puts her feet up on the back of the Jeep, like, put me in the trunk. I was like, that is so weird, Vink. I wasn't even going anywhere in the Jeep.
She's never that excited to go. Like, she'll get in the car if we have to go somewhere, but she isn't ever
half the time
excited.
she doesn't like it. She gets stressed in the car, but now she's like putting her feet up on the car like, I need to drive somewhere.
She's kind of freaked out.
Yeah, she's freaking me out a little bit. You're freaking me out. Vink. She's also been eyeing the neighbors. She knows the way around to Wayne and Rhonda's place.
I took her out tonight, and she like went out, she peed, and then just started trotting over there.
She's
like, ooh, they're outside. I'm gonna go over.
My friends.
They have steak.
I want to see what their kitchen's going on. What's going on in their kitchen?
I told him, like, we were having a great conversation when I was over there today with Guac, but I was like, listen, we got dinner reservations. I got to feed Guac. I'm like, I really got to go. And they're like, no, don't go. And I was like, I'll come back this weekend. I'll bring Vink with. Like, it'll be great.
Vink would be so happy.
So that's Vink. Cheddar had a big week. He got his dental surgery, so his teeth are all pearly white now.
It's just cleaning, right?
Cleaning,
I mean,
yeah, that's right.
But potentially they would have pulled teeth and stuff, but they didn't have to.
Nope, he was fine. So his teeth are all clean. And then the next day he went up to the ophthalmologist to see if he was a candidate for cataract surgery. But unfortunately, he is not. They looked at his optic nerves and they basically don't work. Like there's damage.
His retinas are messed up.
Yeah.
So it's like you could fix the cataracts, and somebody's like, you could fix the lenses and the projector, but the film is still scratched, right?
Yep.
So the retina's still messed up. So really the doctor was very definitive. She didn't suggest any treatment or anything like that. She just basically said, look, there's nothing we can do. He's gonna be blind.
Yep. So that is sort of the end of his medical journey with us. He's all patched up, and now, we talked to the rescue, because like, if you're fostering a dog, like you foster them till they're all patched up and till 2 weeks have passed, and both of those things are true. And they're like, why don't you keep him for a couple more weeks and figure out if he fits in? So that's the phase that we're in right now. He's a very good boy. He's very sweet, but the household is very overwhelming right now. Also, I mean, Remy is being totally fine with him, with Cheddar. Cheddar was like growling weird at Vink last night and like yesterday.
Yeah, like Vink was freaking him out for some reason.
She wasn't doing anything.
No.
But just like being by him, he was sort of growling. I don't think he was going to do anything, but like that's not great. And there's still a lot of like management of having to, like right now Cheddar is locked in the office. So like I don't know that we're on the same page about this, but my personal leaning is like, I'm really overwhelmed with all of the dog stuff right now, and it seems like Cheddar just makes it way more overwhelming. If we decided not to adopt him, the rescue says what they would do instead of us adopting him out directly is they would move him to another foster home to kind of get a better assessment of what he's like without so many dogs around. Because part of his like neediness and stuff could just be like he's a little competitive with the 5 other dogs that are here, and if there were like no dogs or one dog, he might not be like that. But we just got to see. I think you more than me are in the like, let's just wait and see how it goes camp.
Yeah. I mean, give it a few days.
And I'm like, oh my God.
It's been very unsettled, right? Let's see if there is a routine and he finds it, right? I mean, he's better at going up and down the stairs. He knows the parameters of the property a little bit better.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. This is all, I think it's good. Good news. But
I
yes,
mean, he's
is
a
it
great
more
dog.
work? Yes.
He's a great dog. I would just love it, like with Riley or with Queso, like we got them, and it's not that there like wasn't anything extra to do, but they very clearly just kind of fit in with all the dogs that we had. And Cheddar is not like that. Like he's a real workload on top of it. None of that's necessarily his fault, right? It's just like he doesn't easily just slot into this, and part of it's Remy, part of it's Vink. I think part of it is him, that he's like kind of demanding and needy, and we're managing a lot of things. And I just feel like I personally in my brain feel kind of overwhelmed by the whole dog situation, and I'm looking more for like, great, like we've taken care of him, and like, can we please just get back to something calm? But I agree that we just need to give it a little more time. But Cheddar adoption, like, fans, don't get your hopes too far up. Like we're in big assessment. And like, if I were just picking by myself, I'd be like, when can I bring him up to put him in another foster home? But, it's not that I don't love him. I mean, he's a great dog and he's got like a cute face and he loves me so much. It's none of that, right? It's just a matter of like, it's one. I think I was saying this to Jen Coleslaw. Like, the household feels like a real exercise in like put your own mask on before you help others with theirs right now, and I feel like I need to like make sure I get my own mask on before I help others with theirs, and adding cheddar to the mix is not necessarily in support of that, but we'll see. I mean, we'll give it some time and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has been happening.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, Nacho's only been gone for like a week, basically, maybe 10 days, and that influences a lot. So we'll see how it goes. The last item on dog updates that I have is that Hopper is doing better. Everything's kind of back to normal with her.
I was going to say, she's kind of fine. She's eating normally. She's doing everything else normally. She loves the swimming. Her patch is off, right? Everything's.
Yep. She's all good.
She seems to be having a good time. She gets sandy. She gets hosed off.
Yep. It was not an exciting update, but a bunch of people were like, "How is Hops?" And like, she's finally back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any other dog update items?
No.
All right. I have 3.5 items in ramblings.
Okay, ramble on because I have a few.
You also have ramblings.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what these things are called, but it's like, I have some things to say about stuff. It's not dad updates. No, it's not like philosophical.
Okay. So there are two categories of updates that I have. One is updates on the fish scandal, the fish tournament scandal where the guys weighted the fish.
Stuff. Is that ramblings or is that Taste of the Keys?
No, I mean, this isn't Keys News.
Oh, no, it's Ohio. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So I have two items under the fish scandal update, which is becoming a regular feature on the podcast.
That story just keeps developing.
So update number 1, sadly, the Rossford Walleye Roundup was canceled for 2023 in light of the cheating scandal.
For next year.
Yes. So Bass Pro Shop was the sponsor. Have you ever been to a Bass Pro Shop?
I think so. Yeah, there was one in the mall in Virginia, I think.
I mean, it's usually a big store.
Even there, they had a pond with trout.
Yes.
Small.
So they pulled their sponsorship because they're like, not sure how to deal with this. And so they had to cancel the Rossford Walleye Roundup.
For next year already.
For 2023. It could have been something that was supposed to be early in the year. I don't know when it was.
Still.
So that's too bad. They're just like fucking up other stuff.
The cheating scandal continues to make waves.
Here's the real update. Suspect in fishing scandal accused of stalking woman.
Oh, that fits, doesn't it?
Yep. A Hermitage man, so this is from the Sharon Herald. A Hermitage man accused of cheating in a fishing tournament by putting weights in fish faces more legal difficulties. Chase Elliott Kaminsky, who is you said, I will never forget their names.
Yes.
35. Of North Keel Ridge Road, Hermitage, was charged Monday with stalking and harassment. Jefferson Township Police said in a criminal complaint filed with District Judge Daniel Davis in Mercer that Kaminsky harassed a woman through text messages and hazardous driving. On October 17th, just before 1 p.m., police said in a criminal complaint, the woman reported she was driving to her home in Jefferson Township when Kaminsky sent her a harassing text message. Shortly after the text, the woman told police that Kaminsky began following her, at times traveling dangerously close to the rear of the woman's vehicle. After the woman arrived home, police said Kaminsky tried to speak with her and asked her to get out of the vehicle. The woman instead stayed in her car until police arrived. I got to say, this is a fear that I think a lot of women have, right? That like some guy is following you home, and like what happens if you get home? Then he's like there and he gets out of his car and he's like yelling at you.
In your home, at your home.
At your home. Right. My strategy is always like, if a thing like this is happening, to like find the closest police station and drive there instead, because they're much less likely to like get out of their car and start screaming at you if you're like out in front of the, not at all blaming this woman for what happened, right? A lot of times you're just like, where the hell, especially if you're like out in a place that's a township, right? I mean, I grew up in a township and you're on the middle of nowhere.
These names sound familiar to me. Mercer and what is it? What's the township?
Jefferson?
Jefferson. So they probably are on the Ohio Turnpike somewhere.
Yeah.
Or exits off the Ohio Turnpike, which covers a lot of ground, frankly.
Can you imagine just like
But it's-
sitting in your
yeah.
car in your driveway and this dude clearly like screaming at you and harassing you?
For you have no preparation, no background, you don't know.
And you're just like, please don't let him like shoot through my car window or something. I'm just gonna stay here and like hope it's
I'm
gonna
trapped
be okay.
in my own freaking car.
Terrible. So eventually, I guess he left and then kept harassing her over text. So the charges filed Monday are the latest legal difficulty that Kaminsky faces.
I hope he finds some legal difficulty in jail. This is ridiculous.
So now he's got the felony charges for the fish cheating and misdemeanor charges with that. And then also now this stalking charge. So
I know. Ironically, he'll probably get sentenced more heavily for the fish stuffing than for
no fucking
being
kidding.
a complete asshole to women.
But not surprising. I mean, he's like a all-around asshole.
He
At
sounds
this
like
point.
a bad person, yeah. Fish
Yeah.
hate him, women hate him, and men hate him now.
Yeah, good men hate this guy.
And even fishermen, even like
Oh, yes, also that.
questionable fishermen hate him too.
Okay. The other category of ramblings is Florida stories. And the first one comes from Fox News. Not normally a news source that I would go to,
Yeah.
but somebody shared this with me.
Yeah.
And the headline on foxnews.com is Florida man claims he was driving car with 2 missing tires because of a curse. Quote, that is paranormal activity. So I'm like, all right,
That's meth.
Fox News.
That's meth, sir. Sir, that's meth.
The driver claimed someone put a curse on him and he was faced with only 2 choices: drive home without tires or set the car on fire.
Ooh, I would have liked to see that one too. That's not a bad choice.
A Florida man driving a vehicle missing 2 tires was pulled over by law enforcement and alleged that paranormal activity was responsible.
Can you imagine the sound that makes with just 2 missing tires? Not like flat, right? Missing?
Yeah.
He must have started on rims and like that's awful. Imagine going around a corner. The metal on asphalt sounds. Oh,
So this dude is 29. He was stopped on Interstate 75 on a ramp
that's a interstate. He's
Yeah.
going 60, 70 miles an hour.
near Marion Oaks on October 23rd at about 4 a.m.
Okay.
after
All right.
Marion County Sheriff's deputies noticed the vehicle's hazard lights were on and that the tires on the driver's side appeared deflated. A deputy then realized the tires were not deflated, but were
There
missing.
must have been sparks.
And the dude was driving on, quote, what remained of the rim. When asked about the damage to the vehicle, the guy told the deputy someone had put a curse on him and that he had hit a curb too hard, which, like, I mean, me too, my friend. That's happened. The driver said he was given a do or die, quote, do or die choice in which he could either drive home without tires or set the car on fire and sleep on the median.
I would have preferred the setting the car on fire.
There's body camera footage of this where he's like, I either had to drive home with the tires or set the car on fire and sleep on the median. The
Would
driver
not have been stopped by cops if he'd set the car on fire.
The driver was then instructed to step out of the vehicle but appeared unsteady on his feet. The deputy asked him to perform field sobriety tests. He began cursing and using insults and claimed to the deputy that the damage to the car was, quote, from paranormal activity. He eventually threatened deputies. If you mess with me right now, let me tell you something. I'm going to break your head with a baseball bat, he told the deputy.
Oi, that's a good strategy.
I'm going to skin you alive.
No.
Listen, guys, whatever you think of the cops, it is not a winning strategy to tell them that you are either going to break their head with baseball bats or skin them alive. And you know what? Don't tell anybody any of those things.
And shut the fuck up. Like this applies to threatening them also. Just don't talk. Just comply.
I mean, it's Shut the Fuck Up Friday, my friend.
I know. It was also Shut the Fuck Up Friday.
Why am I being detained? Am I free to go? Shut the fuck up. Ask for a lawyer.
Ask for a lawyer. Don't start threatening the cops with skinning
alive. The driver continued to make threats and was ultimately arrested. While the 2 deputies conducted a search of the driver, he spat in the face of one of them and continued his threats and cursing. As the deputy went to wipe the spit from his face, the dude began grabbing for their taser.
Yeah, that's a good good indication of not a curse.
Dude had to be picked up and put in the back of the patrol car where he kicked both deputies.
Oh.
After he was taken to jail, he refused to submit to a breath test. He's charged with 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, attempt to deprive an officer of means of protection or communication, corrupt by threat against police, a public servant, and driving under the influence.
That's all overcharging. How about driving on rims? Isn't that a freaking offense?
He faces up to 25 and a half years behind bars, and he's being held on a $27,000 bond.
That's overcharging. He should have just shut up, asked for a lawyer.
Seriously, you guys, shut the fuck up.
God. Not this guy, though. I think it's kind of good that he's out of circulation. But in general.
All right. This story also was sent to me by a few people, and I love it so much. I tweeted it on my Don't Bite Anyone Unless They Ask You to Twitter account at Don't Bite Anyone. So it's a biting story.
Delicious.
Florida woman bites boyfriend over sex toy ownership dispute. At 8:30 a.m. last Saturday morning,
Well.
while many of you were having coffee, breakfast, and maybe even getting ready for work,
Or being asleep.
one Florida woman and her beau were not doing any of the above.
That's not a bow.
They were arguing over the ownership of a sex toy, which turned violent. And I think they mean the argument and not the sex toy.
The sex toy started biting people.
34-year-old Chelsea of Fort Pierce, where a fucking lot of shit goes down in these stories, was arrested for domestic battery after biting her boyfriend in a dispute over the said toy.
She bit him in his dispute. Where'd she bite him?
We'll get there.
Okay, good.
Police responded to a domestic situation where the pair were having a verbal argument over the toy. The argument progressed. The victim asked the guy to return the sex toy. No, the victim, which is the guy, asked the lady to return the sex toy to him because he owned it, police said. So the guy's like, "That's my sex toy. Give it back to me, bitch." And she's like, "No." She refused to hand over the handy gadget to her boyfriend.
Oh my God, the handy gadget.
In response, police say the 33-year-old man picked up the lady's handbag and said, "I have your bag. Give me back my property," which led to a struggle. Police say the woman was kicking the man and eventually bit him to get control of the handbag when police said the man punched her to make her stop biting.
Oh, not good. Don't punch people either. But if you're getting bitten, you get a little frantic.
Post-investigation, police determined that the lady was the aggressor and she was arrested on the domestic battery charge and booked into St. Lucie County Jail. Guys, Port St. Lucie, I mean, I've run a race there called the Skeeter Scoot. It's a nice place, but man, does a lot of like Florida man shit go down up in Port St. Lucie. There you go. That's the story. I was sorely disappointed, and I did extra research, and they do not describe what the sex toy was. I really wanted to know what kind of sex toy it was.
Yeah, was it something only he would use? Is it a co-ed sex? What could it be?
I kind of compulsively
Don't answer that. I'm just hypothetically saying.
We don't know. I read the advice columns on slate.com a lot. Like it's a self-soothing thing for me. I'll read like the child rearing advice columns, even though I have no interest in children nor children of my own. I'll just read all of them. But there was one of them. They have a sex advice column called How to Do It. And there was one where a guy is like, I'm really upset. I got this kit where you can have a dildo made of a cast of your penis. So he took a cast of his erect penis and had a dildo made out of it, and it was a gift to his wife, or they kind of had it made together. So he gave his wife a dildo modeled on his junk, and she gave it to her friend after a while. And he's like, "I feel really violated by this."
I think that's a fair problem with regifting. I mean, it should be the same with engagement rings and other personalized presents, but that was his junk.
I think he's got absolutely a right to be like pissed off that like that was literally a cast of my penis that she's like putting up in her bits. I feel like I should have some say of this. So maybe like that's what this was like a cast of his penis.
That's one possibility, but it could also be it could be a million things without any description here in the article.
Nothing. And I looked at other articles. Nobody says It clearly wasn't in the police report, and nobody did the deeper investigation.
Nobody actually wanted to discuss it with anyone.
I would really like to know.
Call the dude.
So that's it for ramblings. You said you have some to add.
Yes. Well, yes. At least one.
Okay.
The first legal rum place. Ooh, are they going to make a storm rum for Nicole, do you think?
I don't think the pressure, it has to get below 1,000, and I don't think it got that low here. So that
doesn't count in Key West. So we don't get hurricane batch of rum from those guys, which they make. But they made a series of rum, a fermentation of rum. Run of rum for Robert the Doll.
Halloween haunted rum.
So it's got a picture of Robert the Doll on it, and Jen told me about this. I was like, I've got to go buy it.
Yeah, I was like, please go get Robert the Doll rum.
So I went and got it, and then the lady was like, ooh.
No, actually, let me pause before you say this.
Yeah.
For those who have not listened to our Robert the Doll episode of Murders or Mysteries in Paradise, our kind of neglected
sleeping podcast.
Robert the Doll is a haunted doll who lives here in Key West.
Very haunted.
There's documentaries about him that you can find like on Discovery Plus. The rumor is if you take a picture of Robert the Doll, who is on display in a museum near the airport, you will be cursed, and they have all sorts of letters that people have written to Robert the Doll begging for forgiveness and asking the curse to be lifted. So he's extremely haunted. He's on all of these lists of like most haunted things in America is this doll that's like the size of like a 3-year-old.
It's
maybe.
A big doll.
It's a creepy ass looking doll in a sailor suit. You can find pictures online. But it's like it's probably like the most haunted thing in Key West. Like if you do like Key West hauntings, Robert the Doll #1.
Best known, certainly. Yeah.
So he'll curse you. That's just like for people who haven't heard us talk about it before. That's the quick and dirty Robert the Doll. And
yeah.
I think they just came out. There's a Discovery Plus series where they did one on the Amityville Horror House, like they do kind of haunting stuff, and they just came out with like an 1.5-hour episode on Robert the Doll.
That's a lot of reenactments.
Yes, which is like worth it. I think like ghost shows are really good background TV because you don't have to pay that close attention.
They're pretty formulaic, and you don't have to pay that close attention now.
So if you have Discovery Plus, check the Robert the Doll thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, please continue. So you go to buy the rum.
I'm buying rum, right? It's like bottle number 50 out of 8. It's 60 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're all numbered and hand signed by the distiller, who we've met and
we're pals with. Yeah,
Paul Menta. He's a great guy. So I also know it's going to be good rum. So I'm kind of excited about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I bring it up to the counter to pay, and it's person who works there kind of
we've seen a zillion times.
I think it's the mother-in-law of Paul.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, I hope that works out for you." And I was like, "Oh crap, it's actually a haunted doll.
Mm-hmm.
I might be like cursing myself here. This is not good." It's the first time I realized this actually could go badly. And then she goes, "I don't know what it is with them. Paul didn't tell us he was making these, and he put them in the store and he hadn't told us." She said, "Here, pay. Let's after you pay, I'll tell you a story." So I bought it, and then she goes, "Yeah, the first day that we've had these in here, I didn't even know they were here. I tried to unlock the door. I came in early, tried to unlock the door to the store and the distillery, and the key wouldn't turn." And I said, "Oh, that's weird." So I tried a different key that just like fits the cylinder but doesn't turn, and was jiggling that, and it wouldn't turn. And then as I pulled the key out, I could see the deadbolt sliding back and opening. And I thought Paul was on the inside opening the deadbolt. She said, but there was no one there.
No, it just opened
itself. Just
itself.
Unlocked the door. So Robert was already working his dark magic.
Spooky.
So I was like, "Jen, I can't send you a picture of this bottle."
No, do not take a picture of that bottle, even if it's a picture of a picture.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. So we have this bottle here, but I'm kind of looking at it a little bit nervously. Frankly.
Have you tried it yet?
Oh, she did say if you drink it, you have to like save a little bit for Robert, like pour some out for
Robert the Doll,
for Robert the homie. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, these are all good caveats.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to know. We'll try it tonight,
Yes.
and we'll pour a little out for Robert the Doll.
Yeah, you got some cool rum too, though.
Yeah. So Pilar Rum, which is also based here in Key West, it's like literally a block from the distillery for Key West Legal Rum, which is what we talk about all the time. Pilar is like a nationally distributed rum, sanctioned. So Pilar is Hemingway's boat. And so it's like the Hemingway Distillery Pilar Rum. It's fucking delicious.
Great rum.
They normally have like a blonde and a dark. The blonde, like we before we bought our house here, we would stay at this hotel in Key West, and they would have a bottle, like a regular sized bottle of the.
Yeah, they didn't have a fridge with teeny tiny cocktail bottles.
No,
they
no.
had like a whole 0.75 liter bottle of Pilar rum for like 15
like
bucks.
the
20
price that
bucks.
you would pay
It
at
was-
the store.
It was so cheap. It was
Yeah.
like 20 bucks or something. Maybe it was
Oh.
40, but it was like nothing.
No, like 20.
It was like from a liquor store.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, normally they have like $100 for the bottle,
That's
and it's
right.
like, oh, it's just the price I would pay at the grocery store. And at one point, I mean, we had stayed at this hotel a bunch of times, and I was like, I'm just gonna crack open this bottle. Like, it's fine. Like, we can
20
pay the
bucks
20
is-
bucks for the
It's
bottle of rum.
worth it. Yeah.
And it was so fucking good.
It
And
was
we
really
would
good.
just sit like with ice and the blonde rum, and like it's so good for sipping. It tastes like brown sugar. It's just fucking delicious rum.
We just sat on the porch and just like watched sunset and had this Pilar rum. Yeah.
Such lovely memories of that. And so we have it. I make sure we have it all the time. And every winter, so right about now, kind of to make it giftable for the holidays, they put out like a special bottle that's been like aged in some sort of special casks, and it's usually got like a fancy kind of like leather wrapping, I don't know, thing that the bottle goes into. So I got Ingo one as a Christmas present for both of us last year. Like, here, Ingo, I got you this rum that I'm also going to drink half of. And so now I'm on the mailing list, and so I got the announcement that this one was coming out, so I ordered 2 bottles of it. And
Did you mean to order two?
I did. I thought I would have one for each house, or like one to save.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But so they come, and it's like the regular bottle, and it's kind of like a short, chubby bottle, and it's got like a leather like wrap kind of case around it. And this one comes with like a fountain pen and like a field notebook, and like spaces in this like leather wraparound to hold like the pen and the notebook. It is the coolest fucking thing.
So you can drink and write,
Yep.
which is very Hemingway-esque.
Like normally like the cap has like a little chain that holds it onto the neck of the
Oh,
bottle.
it's got like compass needles on top. I mean, it's just so good.
There's a little like metal medallion of a chicken like set into the bottle. Like it's a beautiful bottle to have independent.
They do a good job.
And these like special ones are for the winter, are really beautiful. So if you have a rum lover in your life, they would make a great present. I'm just chuffed at how beautiful they are. We haven't tried those yet either. Maybe we'll do like a rum flight after the podcast and sample over
I don't
and
know
stuff.
if I want to mess around with Robert the Doll, man.
So
Bad stuff's gonna happen. All my hair is gonna fall out, or like
I think it's gonna be okay.
one of my ears will get infected.
Just one.
He does kind of annoying stuff. He hasn't done like a too much hair.
Nobody
terrible
like
stuff.
dies or anything.
No, he's more
It's
just
like your flight's canceled.
Yeah, but your car
Tire
breaks
goes
down.
flat. Yeah.
Sorry, Robert. With all due respect.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's Ramblings. That kind of also covers our Taste of the Keys. There's not that much going on. I will say that the boat.
Not that much going on. There was Fantasy Fest. This
Yeah.
is all since
No.
the last month.
We recorded last time when I was up in Maryland.
Oh,
Like,
we did
Fantasy
talk
Fest
about
was done.
the it thing. Yeah, never
Yeah.
mind. We talk about that.
So they have a thing every year in Key West called the boat races. If you watch the Netflix special about like the Miami cocaine drug lords, you will see the Key West boat races in there because they participated in it and it's sort of featured in there. The boat races continue even though these guys went to jail and have been released since then.
They took a break for the pandemic. I think this is the first time back since 2020, 21.
That could be. So yeah, the boat races are happening, but they had to suspend them for the last couple days because these are like super fast, like speedboat races, and the water's very choppy because of the hurricane.
Even if the water's smooth, you just wait for them to like wreck because
Yeah.
they launch into the air at the like the slightest provocation.
Tiny little bump.
Yeah, they're
So,
rockets.
So they've taken a couple days off, but I guess they're going to continue racing this weekend.
Yep.
That's about it for Taste the Keys.
That's fair.
Yep.
Yep.
German word of the week in Ingo Corner.
Yep. Staubfinger.
Staubfinger?
Mm-hmm. Literally means dust catcher.
Staub.
But people use it to
Staubfinger.
describe any useless knickknack that's just going to sit on the shelf and catch
Dust
dust
collector.
and collect dust.
Staubfinger.
But it's like a Hummel figurine, and they're like, "Oh, das ist doch nur ein Staubfinger, oder?" Like it doesn't do any. It's just gonna be a. It's just gonna sit on the shelf. I mean, what's the point of this thing?
That's good. I like that, and I like the sentiment of it.
Yeah, you don't approve of Hummel figurines and
No.
things that sit on shelves.
Staubfinger. Staubsauger is
Yeah.
one of my favorite German words, and it means dust sucker, and it's the name for a vacuum.
Der saugt Staub.
Staubsauger. It sucks dust.
It sucks dust.
So Staubfinger is a dust collector.
Yeah, dust catcher, literally
catcher.
dust catcher. So collector.
Staubfinger. Good one.
Yeah. Staubfinger. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you have for Ingo Corner? Anything?
Nothing new. Appreciate everyone's packages and letters and cards and the support. Everyone's been very supportive of our decision with Nacho.
Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate that, and it's always gratifying to know that there's good people on everything. Even as Twitter implodes, that we've made a good community here,
right.
and we'll see how we proceed. But it's just nice to hear from all these good people who have similar feelings, emotions, directions, motivations as we do.
Yeah, and for those of you who are Twitter followers, we have no plans to do anything. We're just taking a wait and see approach, which is quite dramatic with everything that's going on Twitter. But we're just going to stay there, and then if it looks like Twitter's actually going to shut down, or if it gets truly toxic, we'll find another place to go. But we're not doing anything for now. So
Yeah, no plans. But normally this kind of process happens over years, but it's happening over days, which is a little bit disconcerting for me.
Yep.
But what are you going to do?
No, we just watch it
Usually
burn.
it takes longer to ruin a company than 3 days, but
kidding.
and yet.
And yet.
All
right, everyone. Well, thank you for listening to this very long podcast. And until next time, Slava Ukraini. And don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Yeah, and don't talk to cops. Bye.
Shut the fuck up. Bye.
Bye.